Hey all, I'm gonna do the old Emery King thing and walk and talk. Um, all the people in the house, I'm gotta get away, get some time to myself. But I want to talk to y'all about, well, more than anything, I want to give my opinion. um, some of y'all may care, some of y'all may not, and if you don't care, I mean, you know, scroll on by. Don't worry about it. But for those of you who are interested, I was listening to talk radio today, and they did an interview with the the leading epidem, epidemiologist or whatever his title is of Sweden today, and he said that they didn't close their businesses down. In fact, closing business down was the worst thing you could do because it made it just made the whole process longer. It instead of the virus going on and doing its spread, which it's going to do anyway, it's we just slowed the process down. So he made mention of our officials talking about flattening the curve. He said something that really made sense. He says, really, the flattening the curve has nothing to do with anything other than the hospitals and the hospitalization. He said what it does is it's allowing the hospitals to stay on top of it. But if we had left things alone, the virus would spread, which it is anyway. It has spread. It is going to spread. And it would go through the process, and get out. And we would have formed antibodies, and we would be immune to it. We would still be working. Our economy would still be booming, and we wouldn't be in the mess that we're in. But the powers that be in our government have decided that closing the government down, or not the government, I wish they closed the government down, but I mean, the thing about closing the government down is the Democrats are saying, oh my God, all these government workers, they're not getting paid, they can't pay their bills. Well, you're not hearing them scream about us normal folk, not getting paid and not paying our bills. They don't care about us. They care about the government workers. But what happened with the government workers after the government reopened? They got back pay. Yeah, they got back pay. Are we going to get back pay? No. They send us a measly $1,200 check, which we probably going to find out that we probably got to pay it back for some reason. But anyway, they were talking about flattening the curve. Well, the curve has nothing to do with the virus itself. The virus it's a virus. It's got to run its course. It's got to have a host. It's going to run its course. I mean, think about this. They keep mentioning that, but they also keep talking about numbers. But the numbers they're not talking about are the ones who have gotten over it and are well. They're not talking about those. Why not? Because they don't do anything for them. They don't help their situation. They don't help them keep us closed down and locked in our houses. Also, they're inflating the numbers. New York has been busted by, they included over 4,700 deaths that were non-COVID related into their numbers. Yeah, caught. They were caught doing it, and they even admitted to it afterwards. But, oh, well, the damage is already done. They've shut an entire city down. Now, they have people going around, regular, everyday people like you and me, they're going into these hospitals in New York, and they're empty. These hospitals that were supposed to be just overloaded and flooded, they're empty. I mean, I've seen the videos. I'm sure some of y'all have seen the videos too. So they don't want you knowing these things. They want to continue the lie. I mean, let's take California for instance. They found out that the governor and all the people, all the mayors and all in like Los Angeles mayor, they were holding the number of infected down. They have over 500,000 people infected, but they're asymptomatic. But they were saying 7,000 instead of the 500. Why? Because the number that had died from it actually died from it. The percentage to 7,000 is much higher than the percentage to 500,000. They even caught, I think it was John Roberts in the press room on a hot mic. They were talking about it. They even called it a hoax. They said, "Oh, so this is a hoax." So now we've had a Russia hoax. We've had an impeachment hoax. We've had now a COVID hoax. But the COVID hoax, that's the crazy thing. They've been trying to destroy our country and destroy us as Americans for over 3 years now. And guess what they did it with? A virus. They used our fear of a virus. And you know what? They're sitting back there. They're sitting in their little rich houses and eating their rich ice cream, Nancy Pelosi, and wringing their hands saying, "We've got them. We know how to destroy America. We know how to shut it down. We know how to kill the economy. We know how to destroy the American people. We know how to get them all on the government dole." They're saying that. If they're not saying it, they're thinking it. All of you need to be aware of this. You need to be aware of what our elected leaders, I wouldn't call them leaders, but elected officials are doing. So they can sit here and they can tell everybody, "Oh, you gotta wear your face mask, and you gotta, get vaccination. You cannot do this. You gotta do all that." Well, guess what? Screw them. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not sick. And if I get sick, I take care of myself. I take my vitamins. I don't eat as well as I should, but I'm not some raving alcoholic where my liver's trashed. I don't live a lifestyle that would cause me to die from COVID. I'll get over it just like I got over the flu. I don't take the flu shot. Did I get the flu this past year? Yeah, I did. Had it for 3 days and I was up and going. Took me 2 weeks after that to really, get past what I call the drag afterwards, because I didn't have any energy, things like that. Well, that's okay. I got past it. I moved on, and everything was okay. And the same thing will happen with this COVID. If everybody in the United States got it, there's going to be some that don't get. They're not going to have any symptoms, but there's going to be some that do. And those of you who do are just you're gonna have to ride it out, and you'll be okay. You rode the flu out, and you didn't, close your business down, or your company didn't close the business down because you caught it. So these are things that just have to happen. We have to understand as Americans that this was total horse crap. We were taken to the cleaners, and people have to pay. So there are elections coming up. Nancy Pelosi's up for re-election. Old Adam Schiff is up for re-election. There are several of these, but I just flat out, they're anti-American pieces of crap, and they need to be removed. I don't care who's running against them. I don't care, honestly, if it's an elephant. vote that son of a bitch in. Okay? We'll train him to make decisions later. But get them out. And come November, vote Trump. He built us up in 3 years. I mean, he did things that no other president has ever done. You can hate him. You can dislike the way he talks. It really doesn't matter. But he made all of our family lives better. He made all of our financial lives better. Those are the facts. So, if you got any questions, or you're not sure about some of the things that I've talked about, go look them up. Go look them up. And I could keep going about all the underhanded stuff that our government is doing. Not just the federal government. Our local governments are doing it. Like Comrade, what's her name? Hidalgo in Houston. Mandatory mask for everybody starting tomorrow. Well, the police union has already come out and said they're not backing it. They're not going to write tickets. They're not going to support it. It's a no-brainer for them. So I'm hoping the sheriff's department does the same. I'm hoping some of the constables, hope they all do the same. I hope they all just turn their back on her. She's a sellout. She's been waiting for this time for something like this to happen so she could exert her totalitarian ideas and agenda. She's as bad as any of the Pelosi's and the Clintons of the world. She's just a terrible person, and hopefully Houston will deal with them, get them out of there. But we're here in Montgomery County, and we've got pretty good representation here, so I don't have to worry too much. But anyway, I just wanted to share some thoughts with y'all, my opinion, and I thank y'all for listening. Later.